Yeah, names are hard. I don't have any easy answer for that. I vastly envy someone like Jack Vance, who I think has just a magical gift for names. One of the things I love most about Jack Vance is the character names and the place names. They're just, I don't know, they're just wonderful. They just ring off the ear. Tolkien was similarly gifted, you know. You read some of that and you say, well, it's like Tolkien has like 3 names for everything. And, you know, this is what the elves call it, this is what the dwarves call it, this is what the men of Westerness used to call it 1,000 years ago, but today's men call it something else, you know. And, you know, it's like a hill. So but fantasy names are tough because, you know, it was easy. I mean, Tolkien, there wasn't much that had come before him. And he was also a linguist. He spoke languages, he spoke Old Norse and Old English, and was familiar with linguistic theory. I don't have any of that stuff. And I have all this other fantasy stuff that's come between Tolkien and my work, and these guys have like used all the good names, you know. So. Okay, here I have some mountains. What do I call them here? The Misty Mountain. No, Tolkien used the Misty Mountains. The Pointy Mountains. No, that's stupid. The Rocky Mountains. The Rocky, that's good. Wait a minute, this really is Rocky Mountains. You know, so when I come up with something that I hope is cool, like the Frost Fangs, which I came up with for my mountains, that's good. I like that. Ooh, Frost Fangs. No one's thought of that before. I think that's good. So it's tough. Yes.
Now I realize that you just said this is a fairly difficult process, and I apologize if it seems a bit trivial, but as a fan of fantasy in general, I find myself playing quite a bit of fantasy role-playing games, including, well, Dungeons & Dragons primarily. So I'd be honored if you could bestow upon me a character name, or at least make a suggestion, on one that's already in use.
I'm really afraid I don't know you well enough to. I mean, the name needs to fit the character.
Let's see. Well, I can assure you that I'd make it fit.
Well, what's your favorite family?
I guess I'm kind of gotta stay true to the Stark family.
The Stark family. Okay, well, the Starks are Northerners. They're descended from the first men, so the name should probably be something short, blunt, that also describes something like stark or stout or blunt. How about blunt?
Thank you very much.
What fan reactions to characters, to events, etc. do you find most surprising, for better or worse?
What fan reactions do I find most surprising?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I find the level of dislike for some characters surprising. You know, well, it depends on the character. You know, there are a lot of people who write me emails, and I'm not surprised that they dislike Joffrey. But when I get these angry letters from people who dislike Sansa or Catelyn or Brienne, that does surprise me. Of course, there are equal numbers of people, or perhaps greater number of people, who love those characters. I mean, what I take particular pleasure in is the vision among my readers about these characters, because indeed, when I look at real people in the real world, we don't agree on who we like. You know, my favorite actor may be an actor that you can't stand. I may vote for a politician that you think is a scumball, and vice versa. Real people react to other real people in a variety of ways. So, you know, when you read a book and you have a hero and everybody likes the hero, and you have a villain and everybody dislikes the villain, that's probably a sign that you're dealing with cardboard characters. When you create a character that's real enough so that some people like that character, some people hate that character, some people find the character very annoying, some people identify with the character, then you've probably created a fairly real character. And that's always what my my goal is here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and on that note, in the last book, you mentioned that there were a lot of rewrites. What character vexed you the most and made it into your virtual trash more than any of the others? Is there one particular, or were there many?
Is there one particular character?
Like which character got the most rewrites? You were writing the chapter, you're like, oh, I hate that, and you threw it away.
The most rewrites had to do with the Maronese knot. So it really, the whole host of characters who gathered around Marine. I kept restructuring those chapters, trying to decide what was the optimal dramatic order for people to arrive. And before this event, no, it'd be better after this event, or because it would change this event if it was before this event, and I wanted it to happen this way. No, it shouldn't happen that way, it should happen the other way. But wait a minute, this other character left before that character, so that should be and I rewrote those chapters tons of times, and it drove me mad. So I'm a wreck of a man that you see before you. But I finally solved it, I think, I hope, but you guys will be the ultimate judge of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.